Most directors hide their guilty pleasures. Quentin Tarantino flaunts them, especially the dirty, bloody, and controversial world of exploitation cinema. These aren't just movies, they're cinematic shockwaves. Tarantino has never shied away from crediting exploitation films for shaping his filmmaking voice. He doesn't just love them, he studies them, quotes them, revives them. Some are banned, some are forgotten, but all are raw, bold, and unapologetically wild. Let's break down 10 exploitation films Tarantino recommends and why they stirred up so much chaos. 1. The Big Bird Cage, 1972. Set in a hellish jungle prison, this women in captivity classic features Pam Grier as a rebellious inmate planning a fiery escape. It's packed with sadistic guards, steamy brawls, and over-the-top violence, all wrapped in a sweaty, politically incorrect package. Directed by Jack Hill, the film thrives on chaos, kitsch, and fearless female leads. Tarantino champions this film for Pam Grier's ferocity, which inspired his casting of her and Jackie Brown. Its bold mix of sex and rebellion typifies the unapologetic energy of 70s grindhouse cinema. Banned in some countries for its explicit content, it's now a cult staple. 2. Thriller. A Cruel Picture, 1973. A Swedish rape revenge tale so violent, it was banned across multiple countries. Christina Lindberg plays a mute woman forced into prostitution who trains in martial arts and weapons to brutally take down her abusers. With slow-motion gore, nihilistic tone, and surgical brutality, it's one of the grimmest revenge tales ever shot. Tarantino loved its raw vengeance arc so much, he directly referenced it in Kill Bill. Lindbergh's eye patch became Elle Driver's signature look. Censored versions trimmed 20-plus minutes for explicit sex and violence, but the uncut edition remains infamous and revered. 3. Switchblade Sisters, 1975. This chaotic gang flick follows the Dagger Debs, a girl gang fighting for control after a violent power shift. Full of catfights, betrayal, and street warfare, it's like Shakespeare dipped in blood and sprayed with graffiti. Led by bad girl icon Lace, the story spirals into a high school turf war that ends in flames. Tarantino loves its wild energy and underdog grit. He even re-released the film through his Rolling Thunder Pictures label. Despite poor box office on release, it gained cult traction for its punk spirit and raw female-led violence. 4. Rolling Thunder, 1977. William Devane plays a Vietnam vet whose family is slaughtered after he returns home. With his hook for a hand, he embarks on a cold, methodical revenge spree. The film combines PTSD trauma with searing, slow-burn brutality, punctuated by sudden, violent outbursts. Tarantino has praised it repeatedly, calling it one of the best revenge films ever made. Its downbeat mood and explosive finale shaped much of Kill Bill's tone. Graphic violence led to initial ratings cuts and controversy, but its reputation only grew. 5. Coffee, 1973. Pam Grier stars as a nurse who moonlights as a vigilante, hunting down drug dealers with a shotgun and a seductive smile. This is blaxploitation at its most stylish, fast, brutal, and packed with righteous fury. Grier owns every frame with explosive confidence. Tarantino idolizes Grier and credited this role for inspiring Jackie Brown. Coffee's mix of empowerment and pulp action is exactly what Tarantino channels in his strongest female characters. It was controversial for its nudity and violence, but became a feminist icon piece in hindsight. 6. The Street Fighter, 1974. Sonny Chiba plays a martial artist for hire, so ruthless he tears opponents apart with his bare hands. Heads crushed, bones snapped. This is the first film ever rated X in the US for violence alone. Chiba's Takuma Tsurugi is unrelenting and unpredictable. Tarantino featured Street Fighter in True Romance and often praised Chiba's raw intensity. The film's fight choreography and dirty realism laid groundwork for martial arts cinema in the West. It was heavily censored, yet remains legendary in underground circles. 7. Lady Snowblood, 1973. Set in Meiji-era Japan, this revenge saga follows Yuki, a woman born solely to avenge her mother's rape and death. It's poetic, blood-soaked, and stunningly stylized. Every sword slash is both graceful and grotesque, splattering crimson across the snowy landscapes. Tarantino borrowed heavily from this film for Kill Bill, even using its theme song and mimicking its structure. It was banned in parts of Asia for extreme violence, but is now hailed as one of the greatest revenge films ever made. 8. Foxy Brown, 1974. Pam Grier returns as Foxy, a woman out for revenge after her boyfriend is killed by a drug cartel. With wigs, guns, and explosive fury, she infiltrates the criminal world and dishes out savage justice. It's blaxploitation turned all the way up. Tarantino's admiration for Grier shows again. He's called Foxy Brown pure cinematic swagger. While some dismissed it as exploitative on release, today it's recognized for its fearless feminist edge and Grier's genre-defining performance. 9. Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, 1975. Set in a Nazi prison camp, Ilsa is a sadistic commandant performing torturous experiments. It's grotesque, over-the-top, and infamous for its taboo-breaking subject matter. This is exploitation at its most extreme and disturbing. Tarantino has spoken about the film's infamy in genre history, less as a recommendation and more as a historical curiosity that pushed the limits of what cinema could or should portray. It was banned in numerous countries and still stirs controversy. 10. Master of the Flying Guillotine, 1976. A blind assassin uses a deadly spinning weapon to decapitate enemies in wild kung fu tournaments. Each fight is more insane than the last, with traps, wire work, and bizarre warriors. It's pure grindhouse gold from Hong Kong. Tarantino adores its creativity and insanity, saying it represents the kind of unfiltered cinema that inspired him. It is played in US grindhouses alongside horror flicks, even though it's technically a martial arts fantasy. Heavily cut for violence in early releases, but now fully restored and revered. These films weren't made for comfort. They were made to provoke, shock, and sometimes offend. But in their raw, unapologetic style, Tarantino found the pulse of cinema, bold choices, wild characters, and storytelling with no breaks. Whether it's vigilantes with shotguns, blind assassins, or blood-soaked revenge, each title here shaped the director who redefined cool. So if you're ready to go beyond the mainstream, these 10 are your gateway into the savage, stylish world of exploitation cinema.